सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम, राम सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम।
सबको रिझाता चल, सबसे निभाता चल, सबको रिझाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम नाम का अलख जगाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल।
राम सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम।
ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Together we chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verses 11 to 20.
यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं, यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः। यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम्, यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम्। गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम् स सर्वविद् भजति माम् सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत
To every experience of life, our focus has to be upon the self. Because that is what we're trying to achieve. Whatever you're trying to achieve in life, in every experience in life, that focus cannot change. What are you really trying to do? Are you trying to get the self? Are you trying to improve yourself? Are you trying to serve this community? What is it you're trying to do? Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, he constantly says that, constantly. If there is a one concept that you have heard 1,000,000 times, it is focus, 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 focus on that goal, focus on that higher ideal, focus on that 1,000,000 times. And yet we go through life blindly. Going through life blindly means what? Means, oh, this is good, this is bad, this I should do, this I should not do. This is interesting. Oh, I'm curious to know about this. Also, anything other than what is it that you're trying to do. Now, of course, you'll be curious about things. Of course, you like things. Of course, you won't like things. All this is normal life. Let it go on. But figure out how you will connect this to your main purpose. And that's what he talks of in the 10th and 11th verses. That's the whole point of it. He says, departing or dwelling or enjoying, united with the gunas, the deluded do not perceive. The deluded don't see this. What does deluded mean? What is the definition of deluded?
Ignorance of the self.
Okay, that could be one definition, the highest definition. Tell us a relative one, which is more pertinent to us.
No goal.
Intellect is not functional. What is delusion? Delusion is when the intellect is stopped working. So, in the course of the day, how many times does the intellect stop working? Suddenly, now I like this, I like, and it's not that they're against you liking something or being curious about something. Or today, Mahesh sent me a forward that the education ministry has given a letter of intent to 5 foreign universities. Okay, he can send it to me merely as a matter of interest, or we are in education, you should know what's going on. Could be like that. But our main focus always, if you get something like that, your whole question should be, what happened?
Is it taking me to my goal?
Or is it taking me? Or how do I make this take me to my goal? What can we do? Now the education ministry is doing this. So can we get in touch with them and say, okay, look, we are doing this. So how do we use this thing to go forward?
Focus on starting Vedanta University.
Sorry?
Focusing the goal of establishing Vedanta University through various sources, through various connections.
Yes. So to see anything that I go through, anything that I like, anything that I'm curious about, anything, how am I connecting this with my goal? Now, Deepraj is doing mathematics. The most important thing that he has to know while doing mathematics is,
Why am I doing this mathematics? For what
how is it
purpose? For what end?
how is it connected to my goal? It's not random activity. Now, okay, I feel like taking a PhD in mathematics. Arey, why are you taking a PhD in mathematics? What has it got to do with what I am trying to achieve in life? Now, the problem with this is, Sir Dev, can you tell us what is the problem with this?
We seem to be more interested in the outside world rather than being introverted.
The problem with this is that very few of us know what we want to do with our lives. This is a problem. So, what you're saying is correct, but it is not explaining it in a way that is directly relevant to us. The problem with saying everything should be associated with your goal is, Mahesh, what's the problem with it?
Become fanatical or something.
Hey Bhagwan, you're not listening at all. Deepraj, please come to my rescue. The problem with it is
You don't have a goal to begin with.
you don't have a goal to begin with. Fanatical and all, dur ki baat hai. 9 out of 10 people do not have a goal. Now, because they don't have a goal, how is their intellect supposed to function? Vedanta wisdom?
Yes,
I don't know who is Vedanta wisdom. Omkar?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Pankaj ji, there is one more problem I see, which is you may have a goal, but there are so many decisions one makes, and not every time we can question this. Will this take me closer to my goal? For example, I'm invited for a party that has nothing to do with, let's say, the vision of setting up the university, but I still have to take that decision.
So, who will help Omkar? We have to now decide whether we are invited to a party. Should we go or not? The assumption is goal is Vedanta Wisdom University. Okay, now tell us, who can help? Should we go or not? We are invited to a party.
We should go.
Okay,
We
why?
should go because there's a possibility that you meet somebody there who can help you out in the funding process of reaching your goal, or you can also spread the word at the party while enjoying the party.
Yes. Very good. Anybody else?
So that way we can juxtapose anything that we do with the goal. I mean,
Yeah, it's a simple thing to do, no? What is so difficult?
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
The intentions also matter. The same activity, but with different intention, it may not take you to a goal. But like she gave an example, you go to the party. If the intention is only to enjoy and come back, or intention is network and spread the word, that's important.
Yes. So that's why we asked. Omkar's question is, should I go or not? How is this related to my goal? So we are thinking of ways in which we can help him related to his goal. So how? How do you relate it to your goal? That is the question. Anyone has any suggestions, further suggestions? Meera's given one. You can try fundraising, you can do networking. What else can you do?
Also, by the
Omkar
way you
has to
conduct
check his,
yourself.
Sorry. Yeah,
Omkar has to check his intention. Why is he doing what he is doing?
No, he's asking us for an intention. He's saying, what should be my intention? Should I go or not? And if how do I relate it to my goal? That is his question. You are merely repeating his question. His question is, how am I to do this? Yes, Bharat?
It's also how you conduct yourself. If you go in with the attitude of service, then you are still focused on the goal, even if you don't happen to meet anyone who can perhaps help you.
Yeah, but correct. But it has give him a more practical, down to earth thing. What will he do there? So maybe for your example, you can say that what is the best thing you can do for setting up the Vedanta University? Often is simply living a life of character, living a life of dignity, of grace, so that people will know that you are doing something different from them. So you are in society, you're living a life of dignity, grace, poise, good manners. You are telling people that Vedanta is a great thing to do. You don't need to actually say it. In fact, so often amongst us also, we slip up in being graceful or polite or dignified, or I'm hearing this constant complaint that every coordinator has, which is that people simply don't reply. At least within us, we should have that grace, right? Somebody is waiting for you to reply, to do something. Tell them what you're going to give them after 5 days. You're not going to give them. You are not interested in doing anything. Say something. Basic good manners. So when we live that life of culture, dignity, poise, grace under pressure, you are communicating the importance of this knowledge. So Bharat, in your case, it could be in the example you have given, and say, yes, you can go and advertise Vedanta by simply being a person who is a Vedantan. There's so many ways. Every event in our life, simple thing. My wife wants me to go to a party I don't want to go to. Then what will you do? How do you connect it to your goal? If my wife will get very upset that I have not gone to the party, and then make me upset for the next 5 days because she's upset, then it's easier for me to spend 5 hours at the party. So there are millions of ways in which you can connect whatever you're doing to your goal, whatever it is. Problem is, first have a goal. There is no goal. We are floating around like a feather in a summer breeze. So I don't know if you get how he's put it so beautifully. He says, departing or dwelling or enjoying united with the gunas. Do you realize he's covered every aspect of life? You're either going or coming or there. There are only 3 possibilities in your life, right? You're either going from there, you're coming there, or you are there. What else is there in your life? You're there means you're enjoying. Enjoying means you're either happy with it or not happy with it, whatever. You're interacting with it. Or you're leaving it, or you're coming to it. That's all there is. He's covered every aspect of life. The deluded do not perceive. If your intellect doesn't work, you are not seeing the important thing over here. Those with the eye of wisdom see. We think of Gita as something very esoteric. It's so sacred and so worthy of respect and worshipful and all that. We don't see that it is, hello, this is my life. This is not, I'm not doing some great divinity thing. This is my life. So when will you develop that eye to see? The yogis who strive perceive this dwelling in the self. So beautifully put, and somehow we miss it. The yogis who strive, you're on the path, you're struggling to do this. And as you struggle to do this, you eventually do it. Isn't that how you do everything? How do you learn cycling? You struggle to do it and then you do it. How do you put a Vedanta university? You struggle to do it and then hopefully you do. How do you do anything? How do you study? You struggle to do it and then you know. The yogis striving perceive this dwelling in the self. That word, what does it mean if you want to put it on a very practical level? It means that you begin to see that you are the determiner of the quality of your life. Isn't it? You perceive it dwelling in the self. You are happiness, you are knowledge, you are everything. Why are you dependent on outside things? You are the one that directs your life. You are the one who moves everything forward or backwards, as the case may be. You perceive it dwelling in the self. You understand that the buck stops here. And as you keep on understanding that more and more and more, what do you understand? That every being like that is responsible for their own lives, and all power lies in the self. And where is the self? It's in you, in me, everywhere. It's all over. Slowly, the levels of knowledge start dawning upon us. But first step is at least take responsibility. Struggle to do it. Struggle to have a goal. Struggle to get as many things under your goal as possible. And then just like one day when you started cycling after practice and practice after falling down many times, so too will you start cycling in your spiritual path. And then the sights will expand and the world will look beautiful and all the greenery, and you'll go up a mountain. So beautiful everything becomes. Be willing for that struggle, because you know that if I do this right, everything is going to come out right. Yes, Mahesh?
Yeah, so does also, like, taking a break, say you're doing something very intellectual and is that also like I'm doing it for the cause because I just want to take a chill pill, so I kind of just go to the party to enjoy just so that but that also is part of the objective of reaching the goal, right? You could also take that as a view.
Of course.
Yeah.
Very good. There's another example. You cannot constantly be doing work. You don't have to all the time work like as if zindagi mein kuch aur hai hi nahi. You're a complete human being. So many facets are there. Very good example. Yes, you take off, you go watch a movie if you want, you go to a party if you want, do whatever on earth you want. Go for a walk, chat with your friends, watch whatever, scroll on your whatever. What is this thing called? Instagram or whatever it is you do. No problem. Only thing is, everything is associated with the good. Yes, good example. So every single thing, whether you're resting or you're working, whether you're harmonizing or you're quarreling, whether you are whatever in the world you're doing, whether you're studying or you're taking a break, it is all done with the intent of going closer to the goal. You have no other intention at all. And this is something that you will struggle to do. First, you will wonder, like Omkar is saying, now I have to go to this party. What does it do with my goal? And then you think, can this event that I'm about to go through serve my goal? If it can serve my goal, in how many ways can it serve my goal? Keep thinking like that. Like I know these housewives, in the academy, when the course started in 1988, and I took on full-time Vedanta. So there were these housewives. Now these housewives were not particularly intelligent, or I used to look at them with a certain degree of interest, because like, what are they doing here? But it was, and nothing wrong with housewives. I mean, there are many, many intelligent housewives, but these particular ones were not particularly smart. And yet they were very interested in Vedanta. Now, what can they do? They would come to the academy, and we were happy with that, because they would come and make really good food, much better than the general average. Or they would, wherever they went, it's a very, very, something that I've always felt very inspired about. These housewives, in the normal course of events, they'd go anywhere. Suppose they went somewhere and then there were some nice mangoes, then they'll bring mangoes for all the academy people. Or if they go somewhere and the bed sheets they found there were very good, they would buy bed sheets for the academy. Wherever they went, they sort of looked at their whatever they were looking at, because of their interest. They did that in the name of the academy. A very fascinating thing. I mean, who would have thought of it? I certainly wouldn't have thought of this. So how much can we do? Like even now, when we are setting up the rooms, we do need bed sheets, right? Where are these bed sheets coming from, or pillow covers, or blankets, or razais, or whatever on earth we are going to do over there? So people who know how to do all this thing, how to do housekeeping well and all, can participate in that manner. But everything is connected to your goal, whatever that goal be. I'm just giving you examples of these goals because this is what I'm familiar with. But whatever you want to do, whatever on earth is your goal, whatever you do must be connected to it. If you study, it is for that. If you relax, it is for that. If you fight, it is for that. If you back off, it is for that. Everything is for that. And it's not just for that as if that in itself is something. It's also how you use that thing. It's not necessarily that, I have to take a decision. Is it going to take me or is it not going to take me? How do I make it take me? Because many times you have to do things that may not really be up your street. But then you have to work out, okay, so how do I make this useful for me? Like a wife, like I have to sometimes accompany my husband to places that maybe I wouldn't have gone had it been left to my choice. But still, it is possible to use even those things for our goal. That doesn't mean you become fanatical and everywhere you go you talk only of Vedanta. There are multiple ways of doing this. And people, if you'll ask you, what do? You tell them what you do. That's it. Those who feel, one with that idea will want to know more. So almost anywhere you go, there'll be one person at least who will come to you and say, so I hear you're doing Vedanta. Tell me something about it. Or what do you people do? Something. Yeah, Mahesh?
Yeah, but you also have certain obligations that don't sort of, are not exactly aligned with the goal. They may be,
Well, we just covered that one.
Yeah. I got it, but I meant to say that to fulfill those obligations which don't align with your goal are also something you ought to invest time in, right? I mean, it could be children, it could be relatives, it could be, which are not at all connected with the goal, but you have to fulfill them. So they have to be done, which are not, and you could bring in your goal as part of it, but per se, they don't directly relate to the goal orient. It's not your choosing, it's something that you sort of are obliged to do.
No, don't never ever say that. What you're saying is true, but don't ever put it like that. It is you are obliged to things that are, you're only obliged to those things that are helping you towards your goal. You're not obliged towards anything else. However, now let us say that your parents are in the house. They have brought you up, they have educated you, they have taken care of you, they've given you a house to stay in. All this they've done for you. All these things have helped you in your goal. Now you can't say that now you're not helping me any further, so I dump you. No, but you've already helped, so I owe you my debt of gratitude. You can't say this is looking after my parents has got nothing to do with my goal. Of course it has. You wouldn't be able to do your goal had they not done everything else they've done. So anybody who served our cause, we have to serve them, right? Even in the institution, if anyone has served our cause, we serve them, right? You can't say it's got nothing to do with my goal. Of course it's to do with my goal. Let us say there's a lady, she's had 2 children. Now I want to realize the self, but the reason you can do that is because you have children. That means your swadharma has been catered to. How can you say it's got nothing to do with my goal? Everything has something to do with your goal, because your goal has something to do with your one word answer.
Swadharma?
Huh?
Swadharma?
Very good. To do with your nature. Your goal is within the scope of your nature. And therefore, everything has to be associated with the goal.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if the relatives also, if you have to go to relatives' wedding or something, or, I mean, those are also sort of things that come with the baggage. You get married, you sort of, or on your.
When Uttara's son got married, remember we went for the wedding. No?
Yeah.
Why did we go for the wedding? Because she's now part of our family. So
Yeah,
we're
that's
going
what
to
I meant.
family
In the sense,
weddings,
the
right?
obligations may not be something that arise because of your goal. There may be some things that are away from your goal, but that's the
No,
only thing I
that's
wanted
what
to
I'm
say.
saying.
That
They're not. When you go
so
to your wedding, to the wedding of a relation, or your cousin's wedding, or your nephew's wedding, or some such thing, you as a grihastha, you're staying in society. So
okay,
therefore, you have some obligation back to the society. This is the very society that is enabling you to pursue whatever you're doing. Suppose you were living in, I don't know, some North Korea or something. Would you be able to do what you're doing? So you have an obligation. And that obligation
right.
has to do with your goal, because if these people don't be the people they are, you cannot. So don't think of things as outside. Everything is inside. The question is, how am I applying it towards my goal?
Okay, thank you.
Captain Pratap Mehta, we need to have a purpose in life. Purpose is selfless action. To fulfill the purpose, we can have multiple goals. What Mahesh says also makes sense and is essential to fulfill the higher purpose. Okay. His question was more specific. His question was, what about things that have got nothing to do with the specific goal? I think. Isn't that correct, Mahesh?
Yeah, correct.
Momita. It is also about overcoming likes and dislikes, an opportunity that will help you with your goal. Yes, Momita, but overcoming likes and dislikes is not in a vacuum. Overcoming likes and dislikes means that when something prevents your path to your goal, that time you do not function on that like or dislike. It's not in a vacuum that I'm just going to try and control my likes and dislikes. I'm going to control those likes and dislikes which interrupt my path to my goal.
But like in the example given by Mahesh,
Hmm.
it is not clear that overcoming this will aid my goal in any way. But it is just sort of expands my ability also to, no?
Uh, I guess you could say that, but it's not completely necessary. You know, the kind of thing you're referring to is like in the military or something, where they put you through a lot of rigor. Like they'll make you slide through the mud, and I don't know. So they look at their training programs. So and then they will have that military discipline, you know, which is like you couldn't anything could be happening to you if you're getting up at 5 o'clock. You better get up at 5 o'clock, or you'll be beaten, you know, like that. Like very strict. There was one very sweet boy, a black American who came to the academy as a student. He was from their military. So you know, he was like military discipline. You know, if you have to get up at 4 o'clock, then 4 o'clock you are out of your room. You're not like, yeah, I'm getting up. You know, not you know, military discipline is right. So when he came to the academy, he was quite horrified. He thought, what is going on? People are sleeping at 4 o'clock, and nobody. I mean, nothing is happening to them. Like nobody went and whipped them, or like what's going on? So he went and told Swamiji, you won't believe it, Swamiji, they are sleeping at 4 o'clock, you know. So Swamiji told him, I mean, he explained it in class also later on, that we're not actually doing that. We're not doing that military discipline. We're doing something a little different, which is converting the personality. Now, military discipline is like you're conditioned, you're forced into that. Like you see a military person, right? That person will be like always standing erect. You never see a military like that. So always erect, always, almost. That's sort of, they condition you very hardly into that. You know, like I don't know what, but it's very, very strict and torturous sometimes. But this is not exactly that. This is developing a faculty within yourself. And that faculty is what is keeping you disciplined. The faculty is not that your body is trained to behave like this, but that your discrimination is so much that you immediately get what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done. So this is not exactly that. It does appear initially like, you know, because you're given a schedule, you're told you have to follow the schedule, and it sounds like some military discipline is going on. And you have to control your likes and dislikes and all. It's not really that. It is when your likes and dislikes, you're free to have any amount of ice cream you want. Nobody puts any, but when it interrupts your path to your goal, then you have to have the ability to stop it.
Yes. Thank you, Janji.
Yes. Captain Pratap Mehta, torturous. Yes, I'm sure you went through it, so you know what I mean. I think they're so strict about it. I don't care what
I'm laughing at your choice of word, torturous.
For us,
You
it is.
rubbed in a bit too much.
Okay. All right. For us, for civilians, I'm sure we cannot do what you guys have done. You all have a level of discipline which civilian life simply doesn't prepare us for. So, what we are trying to do, very, very important to understand this, is that you do only those acts which take you to the goal. However, you have certain degree of gratitude and therefore obligation towards those who have helped you in the past towards your goal. So how do you know your obligation? By two things: that which will help you towards your goal and that which has helped you towards your goal. Now, suppose we are building Vedanta University, right? Now, suppose from now on we say, how does it matter what Swamiji is saying or doing? I mean, that would be shocking, right? Because the university would be built on what he has done, on what he has taught, on what he has written. So, do we not have an obligation to him? But he may do nothing directly now for the university. So should we not meet him, because directly how is he going to help the university? No, he's not going to help. But there would be no Vedanta University had there been no Swamiji who has done whatever 70 years of work on this thing. So when you decide your obligation, two things are involved: that which takes you to your goal and that which has already assisted you towards your goal. You become immediately obligated towards all that has helped you in the past to be capable of this goal today. And that's why you're obligated to parents, to teachers, to so many things. What is this to do with my goal? No, of course it has to do with your goal. They've already done their job. Prakash's iPhone. What do you attribute recovery of Bhagavad Gita unscathed from the debris while watching a video in social media? Nothing. I do not attribute it to anything. True Bhagavad Gita is not in a book, but in the lives of the people who claim to study it. The continuance of knowledge is in the person we are, not the paper on which it is written. That may be burnt or that may not be burnt. The important thing is my selfishness burnt in the fire of knowledge? Right? So this yogi striving, that is hopefully you and I and all of us, striving on this path, struggling to associate our goal with whatever on earth that is happening. Whatever it's happening. That strive, that struggle makes the intellect expand. And you see that actually I am directing my life. So similarly, everybody else is directing their life. The buck stops with me for my life, and the buck stops with everybody else for their lives. And there is a powerful entity in each one of us that is enabling all this to happen. Is this any different power? No, it's the same power. So where is this power? It is all pervading. It is everywhere, and it is within. So slowly your vision expands to understand what you are dealing with. And then you don't tell other people how to live their lives, because the same power in you is the same power in them. You don't want to have a judgment on what they do, because the same power in you is the same power in them. You don't feel you know what everybody should do, because if you know, they know too. Or they can know. So the yogis who strive perceive this dwelling in the self. The unrefined and unintelligent, even though striving, do not perceive this. Right? So there are two types of people striving that he has given: the yogis and the unrefined and the unintelligent. Interesting thing that we can consider. You've heard this concept of us before. For those who don't have their own prajna, what use are all the scriptures? Andasya darpanena kim. What use is a mirror to a blind man? So when you are striving, it is important that your strife is not devoid of the intellect. Simple common sense has to prevail, right? Your intellect has to work. Because the errors that you can make on your path are many. So intellect has to constantly be striving. It's not just that, okay, in the morning I'm getting up and studying, then I'm doing my karma yoga, I'm doing my yoga, I'm doing bhakti yoga. No, intellect has to be going with it. not mechanical activity. When we are all on the plot, and I'm sure you all will all come sometime and you will follow the schedule, it's not mechanical activity. The intellect is working with it. So if you're unrefined, that means gross, vulgar, or unintelligent, you don't have brains only, then you can't see it. So what have you got to do? Two qualities he has given us that we have to have. We have to strive. Obviously, you have to strive. But you have to strive with a little bit of common sense, not foolishly. Who are the unrefined? The unrefined are those who do not have self-control. And who are the unintelligent? Who are not striving in the right manner, on the right track. So two kind of problems can come in our strive. One is we are claiming to do our morning studies, but whole day selfish activity. Whole day likes and dislikes. What are you doing whole day? Just whatever I feel like. Instead of binding yourself into something. There's a very interesting concept that you need to bind yourself to something to release yourself. The greatest freedom isn't being disciplined. And it sounds, sort of contradictory. I should have a free life. I should do whatever I want. Yeah, sure. But when you try to do it like that, you will get so badly bound, you will not be able to leave. But if you put a discipline on yourself through wisdom, not through, like fanatism, you put that discipline on yourself, you will experience freedom. It's a strange thing in this world. Very, very strange thing. What seems like happiness turns to be sorrow. What seems like bondage turns out to be freedom. Strange things in life. What seems to be sort of indifference turns out to be true love. It's very, very, very strange in this world. How what it appears like in the beginning is not what it turns out to be in the end. Attachment appears like love, but it turns out to be hatred in the end. And that's what happens, no? Attached, and you hate the person finally. So, very, very strange thing it is. So, in our sadhana, we need two things. We need the discipline that goes along with our studies and all that. I mean, other discipline, everything that goes along with our studies. And we need also, which is self-control, and you need to be on the right track. Right track, we are on the wrong track out of ignorance. So you need knowledge and you need discipline. So if you don't have knowledge and you don't have discipline, this ain't going to work. Now, what is this knowledge they're speaking about? Because you're supposed to gain knowledge. So how can you have the knowledge? It means a general common sense about how to deal with the knowledge. Because if you don't apply yourself, अब क्या करे? कोई कुछ कर सकता है क्या? Imagine the whole treasure in front of you. And then you say, okay, very good, it's there. And you live in poverty. तो अब कौन क्या कर क्या सकता है? So, the unrefined and the unintelligent. Unrefined, you understand, na? Now, where's that word? Akrutatmana. Akrutatmana means not done. Means he's not a full human being yet. This is a very unrefined, unsophisticated person. Who is an unrefined, unsophisticated person? One who has no control over himself. So you see the queen and all, na? If they're supposed to be the height of sophistication, but actually what is it? Is that she simply cannot behave the way she wishes to. Everything is governed over there. So refinement or sophistication is really self-control. You're in complete mastery of yourself. Only then you can be sophisticated. Otherwise, you cannot be. But today, nowadays, people think, oh, not nowadays, people think, oh, if you eat with your knife and fork properly, you're sophisticated. If you do your hair in a particular way, you're sophisticated. If you walk and talk and behave in a particular way, or go to a particular restaurant, you're sophisticated. Or tell the difference between wines, you're sophisticated. No. Sophisticated means you have mastery over yourself. Believe it or not. Think for yourself. Those people who you genuinely think are very sophisticated, those who look dignified to you, those who look refined to you, are they not people who simply are in control of themselves? When they get angry, they don't scream or hit or shout or throw a temper tantrum. I don't do any of this stuff. That's sophistication. Be in control of yourself. Number one. And ignorance. Ignorance means the inability to discriminate. All your scriptures will be useless to you if you don't have this. What can you say? I mean, you tell there are people in this world who they are reading their scripture, and what they get out of it is go kill everybody. Na kya bole kya? Do you know what the word Islam means? Is anyone familiar what the word Islam means? The word Islam means
Peace.
Surrendering to God.
peace.
Oh, peace.
Peace. Strange. Is this your concept of peace? So, and this is just a very gross example in the sense everybody understands this. But this is across the board. It is not just in one particular community. It is us. We behave like this. So if you are striving, but you don't have these two things, you will not perceive. You simply cannot. It's just giving a cause and effect relationship. Perceive means you won't get that subjective experience. In the absolute sense, it means self-realization. In the relative sense, it means you won't genuinely see the truth in the matter. The yogis who strive perceive this dwelling in the self. Yatanta yogina enam pashyanti. The striving yogis enam pashyanti. See this. Avastitam. Avastitam means stita, stastishta. Avastitam. Where? Where are you going to see this? Atmani, in the self. Akrutatmanaha, achetasaha, enam na pashyanti. The one who is undone, unrefined, unsophisticated, and achetasaha, unintelligent. They cannot perceive it. Just giving a statement of fact. Why does he use the word this for the self or this for the truth? Because it is what is closest to you. That country, USA, this country, India. That city, Delhi, this city, Mumbai. That place, Nepean Sea Road, this place, Santa Cruz. Anything as it comes closer. That Santa Cruz, this body. That body, this mind. That mind, this intellect. That intellect, this self. So as it comes closer and closer, you call it this. So enam. Enam means this. What is closest to you? Yourself. You are closest to yourself. Therefore uses the word this. If that is too much on a relative sense, your perception of truth is the closest to you. because the highest your intellect can do. And therefore, this. Now, I'm giving you both from the highest level as well as from the relative level, because many people are finding it difficult to bring that highest philosophy down to our relative lives. So what we end up doing is merely memorizing things about the higher instead of seeing its daily application. And unless you see daily application, minutely application, this ain't working. So I hope that through these examples of this, you are able to see that. Okay, feedback time. Are you able to see that? Are you able to see its direct application to your daily life?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. What about everybody else?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. So reticent y'all are about saying it. Anuja, can you see its application to daily life? Okay, thank you. All of you.
Yes.
Thank you. Surinder? Sadev? Why?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sadev?
Yes, please.
I don't know, y'all are now forced to say yes because I'm asking you. But please, I mean, the whole point of this, thank you, Kinnari. The whole point of this is seeing that. So if you're not seeing it, please say so. Not just to say yes in class, but because we are going forward, like holding hands, right? We're going forward together. So if it is not clear, please stop and ask and say, I don't see what this has to do with my life. Please ask so that you can check your own understanding of the subject. I mean, check in the sense, use it as a method of living, not as a method of, oh, I know High Vedanta. Forget about High Vedanta. Today's day must be dignified and intelligent. Okay, verse 12. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Omkar?
Ramji, you explained this as being the closest. I'm not quite sure if I understood the concept. So the self is the closest to you. Is that correct? I mean, that's why
Yes.
he's referring to this.
Yes.
But those who understand the self understand that the self is not just about, I mean, is all pervading. It's not belonging to just me, right? So
Mhm.
so if that be the case, why would that word this be applicable here then?
This has got nothing to do with belonging. It has got to do with closest. Even if it doesn't belong to me, it's still the closest.
But
That
what is all
woman,
pervading
this
is
wife, your wife doesn't belong to you, but it's still that woman and this wife.
Yeah, I can say that this wife, because it exclusively belongs to me.
Please, your wife doesn't
No,
exclusively
in
belong
the
to you.
sense of wife, she exclusively belongs, not as a person, but she can't be everybody's wife. She's just my wife.
Okay.
So,
I don't know what to say to
so
that. But Omkar, no, it's got nothing to do with belonging. It's just got to do with closeness. Suppose somebody says, this is, suppose you say, this is my mother. It's got nothing to do this mother versus that lady. Then that mother is not exclusively yours. Then what happened to Krupa? Krupa will say, how come now you have made her exclusively yours? And suppose you all she had 10 children, they will all say this mother. Nothing to do with belonging. Suppose she had 20 children, will it become less this? Will continue to be this.
So something that is all pervading can be referred to as closest. Yes, that's the concept.
Yes. So nothing to do with belong. It is you. It is you. If you happen to be all pervading, ab main kya karun? But this is you. verse 12. Yadadityagatam tejaha jagadbhasayate-khilam yachandramasi yachagnaw tatejo vidhi mamakam. Yadadityagatam tejaha jagadbhasayate-khilam yachandramasi yachagnaw tatejo vidhi mamakam. Actually, it directly answers your question, Omkar. So you are obviously following the line of thought. Tat tejo vidhi mamakam. Tat teja, that shining, that brightness, that light, teja, vidhi mamakam. Know it to be mine. He said enam, no? This. So yat aditya gatam tejaha. Aditya, you know, is the sun. Aditya gatam tejaha, the light which is in the sun. Jagat bhasayate akhilam. Akhilam jagat bhasayate. It lights up the whole world, which is Chandramasi. Chandramasi means in the Chandra. Yat Agnam, which is in the Agni. Tat tejo vidhi mamakam. Know that teja, know that brightness, which is all over. That brightness is this. So what is it referring to? It is we've already done this in the sense that pure consciousness is what enables you to know that there is light. Suppose you are in coma, how will you know there is light? So yat aditya gatam tejaha jagat bhasayate akhilam. It is shining on the whole world. It illuminates the whole world. But what illumines that sun is pure consciousness. If you are not conscious, there would be no sun. The light residing in the sun, which illumines the whole world, which is in the moon and in fire, know that light to be mine. So he's taken three things for direct light, indirect light, and man-made light. So three kinds of light, referring to knowledge. But we will continue with it next time. And I will give you some update as we have now started the tradition of what's happening around here. And what is happening, oh, thank you, Omkar, for showing some pictures. What is happening here is a couple of 1,000 trees are being planted. And what this gentleman seems to be doing is the drip irrigation. This is on the plot. Then what else do you have? Oh, here. So there were some old structures on the plot, and this is going to eventually, for everybody interested in our subject, very interesting place, this is eventually going to be our library. We are refurbishing that structure. And won't it be lovely? Can you see all the green trees outside? Won't that be lovely to have a library like this, you know, surrounded by all this greenery? So we made the windows bigger. This is going to be the office of the principal. It's all going on. This is the outside of the library. And next to the library is the reception area. This is the same, what eventually will be. Okay, and this is from outside. Yes, sure, Jayashri. Here is how it's going. There are two washrooms here. You'll come to the reception area and the washrooms are being created. Everybody wants to know how are the washrooms there. We are making good washrooms, don't worry. And this is going to be reception and library, what you're seeing. And Jayashri is currently on the plot and she wants to share a live view. I don't know if you can do that, Jayashri. Can you do that? If you can, please go ahead. Oh,
Yeah,
here's Jayashree. Oh my God, she's listening to the class from the plot. What do you think of this? So yeah, so behind her is going to be, oops, she seems to have lost connection.
yes, and some more pictures.
Yeah, she'll send us some more pictures. So this is what's going on. All this work is going on. What has to happen next is that the PG diploma course has to start, and for that we have to have the cabins come up. So that's our next step. The plants are being planted and road and all that you already know about. So unfortunately, Jesh is not able to get enough bandwidth to show us more pictures from there. So okay, so that's it for this time.
Reminder for Saturday talk.
Oh, Saturday. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Last time we have I have put a proposal to the participant. What we can do to the building of the cabins for university. I would like to know any reactions or suggestion from the participants.
I didn't
So
get.
do you?
Here it is. Lovely. It looks beautiful, no? This is the fence. And this is the tree under which we usually sit. When there was nothing there, the tree, can you see the tree on the left? That's the tree under which we always, yes, that one. So that's where we go and sit because first there was nothing, right? So there was just that. So these are the pictures, yeah. Nice, pretty. You like how the site looks?
Very nice.
Very
Beautiful.
nice. Yeah. And especially monsoon in Maharashtra is really good. So, Mr. Prakash, no, nothing. I did not hear anything. I don't know if anyone else heard anything, but I didn't. Anybody would like to participate in all our work and all, please do so. Don't stand on any formal invitations. All sorts of help is required. So, whatever you wish to give, please do. Yes, Bharat, continue. You wanted to do the announcement.
Yeah, a quick reminder for the Saturday talk. It's going to be on the 21st of June online. The details are already on the group, so please help spread the message. Thank you.
Okay, so this talk is basically for corporates. It is meant for only corporates. So if you are a senior executive, please come. If you know senior executives, please tell them. It will not be of much relevance to others, but for corporate executives, yes, this is the one. And then later on, we are going to be doing a table seminar. So this is like an introduction so that people would know how much benefit Vedanta can do towards their work life. Okay, so that's it for today.
Thank you, Janshi. Hari.